Thanks very much, Andrew. So now we move into the fourth of those principal behaviours that we talked about for success in times of change, which is take responsibility. Our next speaker is Rob Herdman, Global Manager for Media and PR, a brilliant and thriving Italian fashion brand. Some people think it's Norwegian, but it's not. It's Italian. So please welcome Rob Herdman onto the stage to talk about responsibility. There you go, Rob. Green one.
Thanks, Luke, for the intro. Hello, everybody. First of all, apologise for the terrible picture. I clearly need to have one of those professionally shot pictures. This is the clicker. So, I come from Napapijri. It's maybe a brand that not many of you have heard about. You might know my brother and sister brands, which is North Face, Vans, and Timberland. We're all part of the same group. Today, I'm going to talk to you about taking responsibility. So when I was asked to come and present here, I was trying to think of what was the best topic of what's affecting my industry the most. And it's a realization. And it's a realization that fashion is a dirty business. I think it was Naomi was mentioning before, referencing about fashion being one of the top polluters in the world. And it's the truth. And it's something that we've realized fairly recently. You know, there's documentaries that's been made, press has started talking about it, and it's caused a realization that, shit, the stuff that we're making is ending up in landfill. So we're in the top 5 most polluting industries in the world. 1 million tons of new clothing purchased last year in the UK is bought every single year, so new clothing every single time. Average piece of clothing in the UK lasts for less than 3 years. So we're constantly consuming stuff and constantly throwing it away. Some of us might think that we're doing a great job when we take the clothes that we don't want and we stick it in one of those dustbins that are lying around across the street, so you take it to a charity shop. Realization is that most of that stuff will end up in landfill. It's one of those hidden things that we don't really understand. And we took the realization of, shit, this is something that we need to act upon and the industry needs to change. What we've done about change, or how we enact change within this issue, is that we developed this internal philosophy, and it's a super, super simple one. It's called Make It Better. And Make It Better is something really easy for all of us in the organization to understand. And it's a philosophy all about making change over a period of time. Let's do what we were doing slightly better every single year, and we'll get to a point where we want to get to. So often we try to move too fast, that we can't enact the change quick enough, or we do things wrong. So what we've tried to do is, like, we put out a goal that's 3 or 4 years down the line, and we move there step by step by step. And we've done this with animal-based materials. So we've removed fur, we've removed down over a period of time. We've removed chemicals that we use across our jackets and stuff like that for waterproofing over a period of time. And our next stage is to tackle this issue of massive waste. Fashion industry throws away way too much stuff, and it should be our responsibility, because we're the ones who are fueling it. We want you guys to go out and buy clothing every 6 months. We want you to change your wardrobe, because when you're changing your wardrobe, we're making more money. But we need to take responsibility for that materials that we're consuming. So this is what our big aim is next. It's going from mass production, which is, I'm going to go and make 1 million pieces of clothes, and then I'm going to try and sell them. We want to be in the world where, if you want it, we're going to take that demand, then we're going to make the clothing. Because for most of the time, in the mass production model, there's waste, because we have to make the stuff first, and then we have to try and sell it. So we might not sell everything. There might be 20% of our stock that's left over at the end of it. So what happens to that? It goes into landfill. So this is what we want to try to do. So we want to shift to an on-demand model. We want to make when you guys want it. So this is our first kind of attempt, and it was a range of product that we called Ze-nit. If I click, it should hopefully play the video. Oh, sorry. There you go. So that was the collection that we launched. It was called Ze-nit. So how did this impact the waste issue that I was talking about? And how we did it was basically we looked at technology to see if we could change the way that we were actually making our clothing. So the way that this whole range was made was through a technique called digital knitting. You could imagine it to being something very similar to like 3D printing. So it's a computer-controlled machine powered by software that's making the garment in whole pieces. So you're not making products in the conventional way where you roll out a sheet of material, then you cut it into shape, and then you stitch it all together. You're having a machine 3D make a model of a product. So it's making arms, it's making chest pieces, all in one piece. So the impact on this is that we're able to cut out stages of the manufacturing process. So what we've got here along the top is the traditional manufacturing process of mass production, where you're taking thread, you're turning it into fabric, you're then treating that fabric with dyes. You then have to cut it out, you sew it together, then you finish the item, then it goes out into the stores. By doing this 3D knitting technique, you actually cut out this first initial piece. And a big part of the waste that comes is actually from the cutting out fabric. You have scraps and material that gets thrown away. In this example here, we don't have that wastage because we're going directly from the thread into the pieces that are made. So there's no wastage. So what we've been able to do here is reduce wastage by 30% in the manufacturing process. So we were tackling the issue at the start in the production phase. That's our first starting point. Our next stage was to evolve this even further. So moving forward, we've got more things to work on. This is literally just the start. So how do we go from where we are now, where we've developed new technology in order for us to make product in a different way, is that we want to actually make the customer more responsible as well. So we are now investigating and working with third parties to create some mass customization solutions. So you'll be able to, in the future, go to our website and you'll be able to design your product the way that you want to, and we'll be making that product on demand, the way that you want it, your size, your color, the technology that you want to have in a product. So it's completely going to turn the industry on its head. We also are looking at shifting production from where we have, most of the fashion brands were all based out in Asia. That's where mass production has found its home. We want to come closer to home, and we can do that because technology is getting closer to being able to create a file, send it to an automated factory that's going to make your garments in real time, basically, and then deliver it to your door in a couple of days. So we're really investigating how we're doing that. It's going to happen this year, and we're pretty excited about trying to step into the industry and change it, because the fashion industry, as I said before, is one of the dirtiest in the world, and we all have to take responsibility for it, and we're trying to put our hand up and come up with solutions for it. So thank you very much for listening.
Thanks very much, Rob. That was
Pleasure, mate.
Fascinating. Is Ze-nit a profitable venture for Napapijri?
So we literally launched it last fall. Uh-huh. So with most things when you launch, it's over a longer period of time where profitability comes in. Yeah. So we're happy with the way that we launched it. It was very much focused in mainland Europe, mainly in Italy, and we'll be looking to expand that going forward into future seasons.
We talk about consumer behaviours changing. How much of the Instagram generation and this celeb culture that it drives has exacerbated some of the problems in fashion?
Massively, absolutely. I mean, I think you put that together with fast fashion, high street fashion. So the likes of H&M and Zara are driving these trends of buying fashion on a weekly, daily basis type of thing. The throwaway culture is there. New trends are coming around all the time, and that's been driven, as you say quite rightly, Instagram generations are really picking that up.
It is, yeah. So companies like Primark might be thriving,
Primark,
but there's a cost to that, to the environment.
Yep.
And then final question, can you make all types of clothes in this new method?
There are limitations at the moment. It's largely down to the thickness of the thread that you can use. So the machines that are using put quite a lot of strain onto the thread, which tends to break it. But we're at the start of this journey. So technology, as it always does, will progress and improve in a rapid pace, because all brands are looking towards this new solution now. Everyone has realized that there's something that the industry needs to do, and it is their responsibility, as I said.
There's a lot of questions. It's a very interesting topic by the looks of it.
Yeah,
so I think you'll be popular after this. So thanks very much.
Pleasure, mate.
Really good to have you. Thank
Cheers,
you.
man.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.